Jean Lewin Yang, Francesco Francavilla, and Paul Pelletier explore more adventures of the world of tomorrow and the world of the night as Batman and Superman trade realities with one another to combat villains that each have a knack for dealing with. Jean Lewin Yang delivers one final amazing adventure of the fantastic universes he's created for his final run on Batman Superman. I loved getting another adventure from these two iterations of Batman and Superman, and Jean goes hard with the creativity of it all, especially in this issue, practically birthing his own version of the DC Multiverse within Observer.io's film reels. I thoroughly enjoyed the idea and execution of Batman and Superman swapping worlds and how each of them have each other's rogues as their own villains, and creative and unique combos of said villains like the Bizarro Two-Face who is actually Bruce Wayne, or the mad scientist Lex Luthor, or the Harvey Dent who is actually Metallo. Exploring more of these characters' lives was great as well, particularly Superman's relationship with the new iteration of Lois Lane Jean introduced into his book, who's actually based on a villain from the old Superman radio serials, the Spider Lady. It was an interesting take on Superman's relationship with Lois, and I like that it was a Lois who isn't actually a reporter or anything like that. She was, but now she's not. She's sort of like in charge of a criminal empire, and that's really interesting. It's so cool to see Jean set it all up well that these two worlds are interconnected thanks to a very House of Heroes sort of Justice Incarnate meeting point between these two worlds with a new Fortress of Solitude type place, and that absolutely could be the start of a totally unique world in the multiverse, or worlds in the multiverse. The most creative thing the issue did, and there was quite a bit of creativity throughout this issue, was how it told the story. So you can read it from front to back for Superman's story and then back to front for Batman's story, with both meeting in the middle. Stuff like that really makes me feel like Jean and his team put so much love and care into the book, and it wasn't just some stopgap plot, you know, he's filling in for a couple of issues and he can just tell some run-of-the-mill story of Superman and Batman fighting their enemies. He actually gave a shit and gave us a story worth telling and worth reading, and what sets everything up in this universe, and it's just fantastic. Francesco Francavilla and Paul Pelletier each take one end of the story and meet in the middle, perfectly encapsulating the style and feel of these respective worlds. I thoroughly enjoyed Francesco's work showcasing Superman through a Batman lens. You know, it's all dark and stormy, and there's like hard lighting and neon lighting, lots of purples and neon purples, which was really look fantastic with Superman there in his costume. And I like that it invokes a lot of the 1940s aesthetic that this Superman has, and even better, there's this great sort of Super 8 camera feel to the paneling, like we're seeing film cells, and it's not like the other issues where there's actually like a film reel. It feels like an old movie you're watching on like an old camera. Paul meanwhile does the opposite for Batman, showcasing Batman during the day and running around a crime-free Gotham that is more metropolis than Gotham, since it's Superman's Gotham City, and the two stories meet in the middle in a cool circular panel design with the film reels that was really creative, and I love that it made you get interactive with the pages of the comic and actually turn them as you read them, which is really a lot of fun. Batman Superman 2021 annual was an utterly fantastic, creative and fun annual that gave one final glimpse, for now at least, into the amazing realities that Jean Lewin Yang and his team has brought to life here, filling the book with great action beats and interesting character moments and developments to make for a truly unique comic book experience. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Batman Superman 2021 annual sees the new Observer.io and his archivist overseeing their collection of realities. Among the realities is the world of the night, the home of the Batman, but the story the androids look at isn't about Batman, it's about his allies visiting Gotham, as in the reality at Arkham, Warden Luthor gets ready to experiment on the unknown wizard, the Lex Luthor of another reality. The wizard demands that he be let go, but Luthor knows that it's a pity he uses the unknown wizard name since his real name has a certain ring to it. The wizard Luthor realizes he's talking to another dimension's version of himself, telling him whatever experiment he's planning, he's more useful to him as a partner. Putting both of their minds together, they will be able to rule the world. Luthor says that's what he's exactly planning, stabbing his counterpart in the head with a syringe and connecting his mind with Luthor's, wanting to augment his own mind with the villains so he can rule the world, beginning with Metropolis. 2 nights later in Gotham, the Commissioner meets with the Eagle, one of Batman's many assistants, who modifies the bat signal since Batman asked for some outside help, so the signal is now a welcome sign. Superman soon appears in the Superman signal, shocking Gordon at the sight of a flying man. Superman tells himself that it's nice to be back in the world of the night, and thanks to Dr. Adam and Martha Wayne's trading scheme opening a pathway for their worlds, his world is dealing with its very first psychopath supervillain, and a mad scientist is running around in Batman's, so Batman and him decided to trade places to better match their strengths. Superman meets with the Eagle, almost calling him Alfred, as he learns that from the men the Warden Luthor took over Arkham Asylum 2 days ago and renamed it Lexopolis. Gordon says they cut it off from the main power grid, but it didn't work since they have their own power source thanks to an Omni battery. Superman knows they had one of those in Metropolis, but after Martha Wayne was arrested, the city decommissioned it. The Eagle says that they are counting on him to decommission Gotham cities as well. He gives Superman a communicator that contains a map of Lexopolis that Batman and Robin made, storing everything he needs on the Bat communicator. Gordon knows that Batman is all about his gadgets, and the Eagle tells him that's not the half of it, as he tells Superman that thanks to his powers, he will be able to perform a surgical strike. Superman understands what he needs to do, racing to the now huge Lexopolis. In the clouds, he sees Man-Bat, who speaks with Luthor's voice. The Man-Bat bursts into a swarm of bats, saying that he will be addressed as Warden Luthor, but now he'll transform Man-Bat into Man-Bats. The bats swarm over Superman, causing him to crash into the ground. Superman uses his super breath to scare off the bats, as Poison Ivy confronts him, again with Luthor's voice telling him that he wants to see how the hero deals with the poison. Superman wants to know how he's using these people as mouthpieces as Ivy attacks, wrapping Superman in her vines, as Luthor says that he found he can do anything, even psionic control, when he puts his mind, or minds, to it. Superman uses his freeze breath to break free of the vines, as Luthor wonders if he should destroy Superman or not. Soon Metallo, made out of pieces of robots, and Harvey Dent attacks, beating Superman down with his kryptonite-powered fists. Luthor says that he's doing Dent a favor by taking over his mind since he couldn't agree on anything, not without flipping a coin, that is. Superman manages to catch the villain's fist, smashing him down and knocking him out as he spots Lex's Omni battery high on a building. Superman races up to it, intending on punching it, as suddenly a face appears in it, saying that his name is Jones and he needs help. Superman is shocked to learn the battery is sentient, as Luthor appears, asking what the hero's problem is, since he might be from another planet, but he's still so sentimental. He takes control of the being in the battery as he beats Superman down, saying with that body, he is just as powerful as the hero, but he won't be pulling his punches like Superman does. Superman crashes into the ground below, surrounded by the mind control villains who intend on finishing him off, but the villains are all blasted away by someone who rescues the unconscious Superman. Later on, Superman awakens in a room, given some water by a boy as he finds Spider Lady and her people saved him. She says it was all of them in the Spider Syndicate who saved him, and the hero learns that they are now a resistance against Lexopolis, and they were there in the middle of a reconnaissance when they saw him fall from the sky. Superman says that he was trying to take down the Omni battery, but it defeated him since the battery is alive, and it said its name was Jones. One of the women knows it's Rudy Jones, her husband, who was experimented on by Luthor, knowing the rumors about that are true. Superman says that he is alive and under Luthor's control, but Lois knows that since he took down the hero, what hope do they have? Clark notices how this world's Lois looks at him and realizes part of him had been hoping to see her again, knowing something locked away in his mind just unlocked upon seeing her. He soon gets an idea, telling Alexandra and Ray Jones he's going to help them save Rudy. Superman flies the team back to Lexopolis, keeping the Man-Bats at bay as he lands on a rooftop where the battery is, knowing they need to hurry since Luthor knows they are there. The family doesn't understand since the glowing orb isn't Rudy, but Superman tells him to trust him as he and the others will hold off the villains. As they fight, Alexandra and Ray reach out to Rudy, who reveals himself in the glowing orb as he comes to Superman's aid. Rudy asks how he knew his family was the key, so Superman says he made a bet on whatever Luthor had locked away, it would be unlocked if he saw his family. Superman knows that sometimes seeing the people they love can remind them of the parts of themselves they have forgotten. Luthor demands to know how Jones is resisting him, demanding he kill Superman. But seeing his family though, Rudy tells Luthor no, punching the villain out with Superman. Later on, Gordon arrives to cart Luthor back off to prison as Superman meets with Spider Lady, who says that if he keeps this up, his exploits will be too run-of-the-mill to make the news anymore. Superman knows he doesn't do this for the news, as Lois asks if he really does need to go, and Superman is sad that he has to, wanting to tell Lois that he came to this world wanting to see her again and be with her. Lois reminds him that he has a Lois on his world and she's smitten with him. Superman says that she is the only person he's met who knows what it's like to lose a planet, but Lois says that they are from different worlds, quite literally. Superman tells her there can be an in-between, wanting to show her as he heads through the burn hole, telling her that Batman and him build a headquarters that sits in the middle of all of their realities, calling it the Fortress of the Night. Spider Lady thinks that this place is amazing as Superman's risk communicator alerts him to Batman needing help, telling the woman that he's coming through to the base in the next room. Observer IO meanwhile looks upon a tale about the Man of Steel and his idyllic world filled with dangerous criminals, with most being housed in Blackgate Penitentiary, where state-of-the-art tech serves the compassionate justice to them. One of the robots tends to the inmates, with them asking Bruce Wayne about his life being ripped up. A villain says that he prefers to be called Bizarro Two-Face, who begins tampering with his power-neutralizing collar. Bruce says it's itchy and he wants it off as the robot signals an alert, activating the security protocols as Bruce rips up the collar, smashing out of the prison. 2 mornings later at Bertinelli's, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen and Commissioner James Gordon compare notes about the breakout. James wants to know what Superman thinks and if he can handle it, but Jimmy says that Superman asks for some outside help, which is why they are waiting. James wonders who he could have asked as Batman and Robin arrive, causing Gordon to choke on his coffee. Batman knows with both his and Superman's worlds facing different and deadly threats, they decided to switch places to better match their skills. Jimmy is happy to see Robin again, learning he's been doing his usual tricks of chasing down criminals in an alternate dimension. Batman is glad to see Gordon as well, but James isn't happy he snuck up on him since it's impolite. Batman asks Lois to catch them up, so Lois tells them about how Bruce Wayne escaped Blackgate. James knows he will turn up eventually, so what's the big deal, since after all Gotham is the safest city in America. Batman knows it only takes a few broken minds to destroy all of that, and he and Robin saw what happened to Wayne the night he became Bizarro Two-Face, and broken minds follow a logic all their own, and if you uncover the logic, you can bring them to justice. He asks if they are guarding Martha Wayne, learning that she is in Arkham, but Batman wants more guards assigned to her since it's Sunday, and Sunday is Father's Day. In Arkham, a forlorn Martha sits in the gardens with her other female prisoners, told by the announcement that their rec time is over. Soon a mustachioed guard comes to see her, asking if she's alright. The guard says his name is Matches Malone, as Martha says that she knows it's Father's Day, and it was always painful for her since her late husband was good at many things, but he was the best at being a father. Bruce wishes that his own parents had survived, and in this world, one of them did. Matches tells her that he was a good father, quickly correcting himself, saying that he is sure the man was. Soon he gets a communication that alerts him that Bizarro Two-Face is there and Robin will try and slow him down. Robin bursts through the wall riding Bruce, however, saying that he's a big guy as Bruce changes into his Batman costume, making Martha realize he was the man from the cemetery and the other world's Bruce Wayne. Batman rushes off to stop Bizarro Two-Face, who recognizes the hero's face, knowing he is the Bruce of a different world, as he uppercuts Batman. Robin sees to his friend, but learns that Batman is okay as Bizarro Two-Face wishes his mother a happy Father's Day, but gets angry since he knows she did this to him, asking what he does now and if he's going to reward her for what she did, since he's of 2 minds whether he should kill her or not. He grabs the woman, fleeing the scene with her as Batman and Robin take off after her. Batman lets Robin drive so he can concentrate on tagging Bizarro with his Bat Tracer. But now he's regretting that choice since there isn't much legroom in the sidecar. Batman tells him to hold the bike steady as he readies his Bat Tracer, but Robin brakes hard as they stop in front of a police blockade. Batman hopes that Gordon is too smart to fire on the villain, but James orders his men to shoot. Batman throws a batarang, disarming the police before they hit Martha as Bizarro Two-Face unleashes his fire breath on the cops, wanting them to leave him alone. Batman hopes the fire doesn't reach the car's fuel tanks as a huge explosion engulfs the area thanks to the cars blowing up. James thinks that maybe they shouldn't have shot at the villain. Later on, Batman and Robin hit the streets to search for the villain, but without the Bat Tracer, they can only guess where Bizarro Two-Face will go, but they have a hunch. The two head to Wayne Mansion, finding it abandoned, but Bruce knows it's not as he finds Alfred skulking around in the darkness. Alfred knows that Bruce really did kidnap his mother from Arkham, but he doesn't know where he is, since he's so unpredictable ever since that night. Batman thinks he means the cemetery, but he really means the alleyway. Alfred wants the heroes to return Martha to him since he now possesses the means to keep her safe. Batman realizes that he was talking about Crime Alley, and he's been so distracted at comparing his world with this world, he forgot why Superman and he traded worlds, since he knows how to outwit Bizarro Two-Face, knowing the villain is indecisive, meaning that's his weakness, and his former friend Harvey Dent taught him a trick on how to deal with that. Batman asks Alfred if he has a coin on him, as later in Crime Alley, Batman and Robin wait for Bruce and Martha to appear. Batman knows that broken minds follow their own logic, and a single moment turned Bruce's world upside down. So in his own bizarre fashion, Bizarro Two-Face will try and undo that moment. Soon the villain arrives, asking if his mother remembers this place, and Martha knows she could never forget it, since their lives were shaped by that night. Bruce asks her what the opposite of his father's death is, intending on killing his mother, but he cannot decide. Batman reveals himself, saying that he can help, giving Bruce a coin with one of its sides marked with an X, saying if it lands on the X, he can kill Martha, and if not, she lives. Bruce thinks it's brilliant, flipping the coin, and it lands on the X, so Batman tells him to kill Martha. Bruce says he will, but Batman tells the scared Martha that Bruce is speaking in opposites, so he will let the woman live. Martha demands to know how her son could let the monster leave her fate up to a coin flip, but Batman says he isn't her son, Bruce's, and her life was never in danger since the coin was marked with an X on both sides, meaning Bizarro Two-Face would have always chosen to keep her alive. Bruce is confused, but before he can do anything, Robin jumps on his shoulders, putting a power dampener collar on him. After returning the Waynes to jail, Batman and Robin head back to the burn hole under Wayne Mansion, with Robin wondering how Superman fared in his world. Alfred confronts them, saying that he wanted Martha returned to him, but instead the heroes imprisoned her again, so they will pay for ignoring his request. He activates his Venom belt, saying that his old drug proved inadequate, but his new drug will be their doom. Alfred transforms into Doomsday as he tries to smash the heroes. Batman and Robin know they can't deal with this, and they need Superman to deal with this threat, luring Alfred into the Fortress of the Night, where Superman was sharing a moment with Spider Lady. Superman easily beats down Doomsday, knocking Alfred out as he tells Superman he's happy to help, and his robots will imprison Alfred there. Robin asks why they are leaving, as Batman knows that Superman and Lois need a moment alone. Clark kisses Lois, telling her that she turns his world upside down, as Batman meanwhile shows Robin Superman's gift to him. Statues of his parents, which he says are a reminder that he doesn't have to look for them in some other reality, since they are always with him.